At 65, I thought my life was as good as it was ever going to get. My name is Grace. And for the last few decades, I had been content with my routine. I had a quiet home in a small town, a few close friends, and a simple life my late husband Tom and I had shared many happy years together, but after his passing, I had become accustomed to living alone. My days were filled with gardening, knitting, knitting. The occasional walk around the neighborhood. It wasn't glamorous, but I liked it that way. My life had a unpredictable, comfortable and fulfilling joy for someone of my age after Tom passed away. I spent my days reflecting on our time together, cherishing the memories we created. There were days when I missed the sound of his laughter, the way his hand used to feel in mine, but also found peace in solitude. I learned to appreciate the little things like the way the sun warmed my face in the morning, or the scent of fresh flowers I planted in the garden. It wasn't until an afternoon that I felt a shift in my life. I decided to walk into the local cave, a small, cozy place I hadn't visited in a while. It was a routine that gave me a sense of normalcy. As I walked in and noticed an elderly man sitting by the window, reading a book. I almost passed by Boot. Then I saw him look up and his eyes widened. It was Harold, an old acquaintance from high school, someone I hadn't seen in over 40 years. Harold and Andy had shared a brief moment in time when we're young, but life had taken us in different directions. He had married, raised a family, and moved away while I stayed in Town, but there was something familiar in his smile, something that made me feel like I wasn't as invisible. I thought he waved me over, and after a moment of hesitation, I walked to his table. Grace, he asked, his voice warm and full of recognition. I can't believe it's really you. I smiled back, feeling a rush of nostalgia. We started talking as if no time had passed. We reminisced about high school, about the friends we'd lost touch with, and about the paths life had taken us on. The conversation flowed easily, and for the first time in a long time, I felt completely at ease with Simoyon. The more we talked, the more I realized how much I had been missing in me life. The loneliness, the quiet, the years spent without feeling truly seen. But Harold made me feel alleviated. It was as though in just one conversation, he brought back the spark I had thought had faded long ago. We continued to meet in the weeks that followed. We went for walks in the park, had dinner at my house, and spent our talking about everything and nothing. With each meeting, I could feel myself opening up to him in ways I hadn't with anyone else. Harold was no longer just a man I had known long ago. He was someone I felt connected to, Zemian, who brought out a side of me I had buried deep inside. One day as we were sitting on my porch, Harold looked at me with a serious expression. Grace, he said, I've thought about this a lot, and I want to know if you'd be open to the idea of us starting something together. I know we're older, but that doesn't mean we can't have something beautiful, something meaningful in these years. His words hit me like a wave. At first, I wasn't sure how to respond. The idea of starting something new at my age was both thrilling and terrifying. I had spent so many years alone building my own life, and now here was someone offering me the chance to change everything. I hesitated, but then I realized something. I had spent so much time wondering if I could still have the excitement, love, and adventure in my life. I had never allowed myself to believe that at 65 I could still feel deeply, love fiercely, or be a part of something extraordinary. But here it was standing bare, me offering a second chance, a happiness. I'd like that, I said, my voice trembling. I'd really like that, and with that, everything changed. My life was no longer about simply passing time. It was about living again. Harold and I shared many more moments together, moments that were rich with laughter, companionship, and tenderness. It wasn't about big grand gestures. It was about the quiet moments, shared the morning coffee, the walks by the lake, the late night talks that lasted until the stars appeared. We found joy in the small things, and that was Uno at 65. I had come to realize that life didn't have to slow down or fade away. There was still so much to experience, still so much to give and receive. I had learned that it was never too late to start something new, to embrace love and adventure, and to buy a pen to the unexpected. I was no longer living in the past, I was living for today. And that, I think, is the greatest gift of